guys can take a seat. You all must be exhausted. All right, so I guess it was last week, right? Last week was Thanksgiving, wasn't it? So it was the Monday before Thanksgiving. I have a meeting in the little town that I grew up in. We grew up in a little town called Franklin, Tennessee, and I was having a meeting there. It's kind of one of the last meetings before kind of closing up shop for that week, before we went to, obviously, Thanksgiving, and before we started this. And so, finish up this meeting, and I live in a little town further south. It's about 35, 40 minutes away from the town that I grew up in. And so as I'm driving home, I stopped down Main Street, and I drove by a house that one of my best friends, Micah, him and I grew up together predominantly in high school, and I saw his house. And obviously a lot of memories started flooding back, and I was reminded about just a few weeks prior that I had sent him a text and wished him happy birthday. His birthday, I think, is 5 days after mine. And so I texted him, and he said, thanks so much. And he said, hey man, I gotta tell you something that's a little bit difficult. And I said, oh, what is it? And he said, well, my mom is sick. And we don't quite know what the future holds. And I just wanted you to know, because we had so many good memories growing up. And her name is Linda. And Linda was one of those ladies that I would go over. We were on the basketball team together, and so we would go over and do sleepovers before games. And the next morning, she's got pancakes and she's got breakfast, and just always had a wonderful friendship. Somebody that poured into me as a young man in those formative years of high school. She was just one person that really invested in me. And so as I'm driving by, I pass by the house, and as I'm passing by the house, I feel this nudge that says, go say hello. And I'm like, I ain't that bold. So I keep on driving a little bit, but that nudge of, hey, you should go and say hello was pretty extreme. So I pull over to the side of the road, and I pull into some parking lot, and I've got my phone there, and I'm like, what do I do now, you know? And I made a deal with God, all right? I'm not saying that this is theologically accurate, but this is what I did. I said, God, I'm not sure I have the guts to go and drive into the house and knock on the back door like I did when I was 15, but I'll give her a call. I'll give Linda a call, because I feel like I need to say hello. And so sure enough, I call her, and I'm fully anticipating getting the voicemail and just driving on home and be like, I did it, you know? And because you gotta understand, I probably haven't talked to Linda. I've been married 12 years. I probably haven't talked to her maybe but once or twice since my wedding day 12 years ago. And so I give her a call, and sure enough, she answers. And she says, Luke Smallbone, is that you? And I said, yeah, it's me. And I was like, well, so are you at your house? And she's like, no, I'm not at my house. I'm like, whew. Just kidding. And she said, no, I'm at Costco. And I said, you and the rest of America, huh? Week of Thanksgiving. And she said Costco, and I just said, hey, I don't know why, but I just felt like I was meant to call you and just thank you for all your belief and your support in my life. Micah, your son, told me a few days ago that you're not, well, and I just wanted you to know that you've played a pivotal role in my life. And I just wanted to call and say thanks. And to be honest, it was just one of those beautiful conversations. I hung up the phone, and I had about 30 minutes to drive home. And I was just thinking on the way home that the amount of times that I've ignored that nudge in my life is pretty embarrassing. And I got the gift of being able to thank someone that had poured into me, had loved on me, who had supported me. And it got me thinking through, obviously, Thanksgiving, and it got me thinking through to Christmas. And I wanted to ask you the question of, are you ignoring those nudges to call someone, to say how much you love them, how much you care for them? Christmas is a very, very difficult time where everything is heightened, family tensions are a little high. But one of the things I've also realized about about Christmas is there's an awful lot of unforgiveness that takes place at Christmas. Will you make that phone call? Will you send that text? Because the thing I realized is this: I'm not sure if my conversation changed Linda, as wonderful as that conversation was. But what I did realize in that conversation is it impacted me. It changed my heart. It changed who I am.